Hello and welcome back to the Pinnacle Cup. Pinnacle Cup II, in fact, to be precise, George. We're on to the second one, but me and you were guiding our lovely viewers through the next game. We're going to have ourselves AGO versus the Copenhagen Flames, and it proves to be a pretty interesting match going forward. This one, I'm actually looking forward to this one. I think we could have a pretty good free map affair on our hands.
Yeah, that's very true, Anthran, as apparently you are beneath your name currently. But yeah, like you say, this could be a particularly interesting affair. As you can see, AGO versus the Copenhagen Flames. By all memory serving me correctly, Copenhagen Flames haven't exactly had the best of starts to this Pinnacle Cup. I remember when we first on the scene about a week ago, when we were doing some casting, they were currently 0-2. And AGO in themselves, I mean, we casted the game in which they got handed their loss as well. So neither of these two teams have been having, how to say this politely, smooth sailing. They've had a bit of a bumpy road, a few choppy waters, and they need to kind of stabilise, find a way in which they can kind of get themselves back. It's not been the easy starts, but I'm sure there's been plenty of time in between for them to get their act together. Maybe, I know Copenhagen Flames actually did make roster change recently, didn't they? If I'm not mistaken. Yes, I think so. I think it was Hooksy who's now into the roster. If I'm not mistaken. I think I'm right on
Reasonably recent.
Yeah, reasonably recent. And they're still rebuilding as a result of that. It was Nordius who got benched. We got Hooksy and Roy back into the roster as well, along with Zyphon. That was about a month ago. And often these kind of periods in which teams can... make a roster change sometimes you get a honeymoon period, right, where teams just rile over people, fun and free of cause. Other times, you don't get that. Other times, it takes a bit of time for these teams to gel. And then going over to a team that has gelled rather nicely in recent time and has started to find some pretty good success, been together for quite some time. AGO, of course, with their six-man lineup, where they can swap out Lehman as well. So they've got all sorts, many strings to their bow, I suppose you'd say, Dan.
Yeah, and just on the back of that six-man thing, they're actually going to be playing with Reitz in the first map, and then having Le Mans on the second and third if it's needed. So that's just one of these interesting structures, and they're one of the few teams that's still rolling with this sort of concept of a six-man roster right now. A lot of teams are sort of stowed away that sort of concept, and have just gone back to a standard five-man roster, thinking it's going to be more successful in the long term. Of course, we have the sort of Valve statement on sort of six-man rosters, so that sort of put a bit of a pin in things a little bit.
Just a little bit,
but AJ's still rolling with it. It's doing them okay. We'll see if they can maybe get back, because I think, do we have a chance to look at the standings for the Swiss stage?
No,
we're going to go straight into the veto.
Let's do it.
That's fine by me. As I love myself a veto, George.
I do love myself a veto as well, and especially with both these teams being at 1 and 2, these matches are going to be increasingly more important for their ability to qualify into the playoff stage of the Pinnacle Cup II. So far, though, the veto goes as such, with Ancient being picked up first by the Polish side, and the Danes countering with Vertigo, banning out Nuke and Mirage, and finishing us up on Inferno. Now, I'm a big fan of the Inferno. I love Inferno, one of my favourite maps to commentate, one of my favourite maps to watch. Ancient and Vertigo, for me, though, a little bit of a curveball from both of these two teams. I think probably one of their stronger maps on both parts. They've been playing a lot of these two games. I mean, we've seen AGO on Ancient already in this competition. Just myself and you, we've commentated them in that particular arena. So I think it's going to be an exciting best of 3.
Yeah, for sure. I think we could be heading to Inferno. I think we could have an interesting match on Inferno, where things could go either way. I mean, I feel Ancient probably going to be relatively simple for AGO. There could be a bit of a fight on Vertigo from the Copenhagen Flames side, but we'll see if it can sort of work better for them going forward.
Yes, hopefully that we get something good out of that one. I mean, I think that we've seen Copenhagen Flames do a little bit of work on Vertigo every now and again. I mean, we haven't casted them recently, but I remember a couple of competitions ago, whether it be in the FunSpark Multi or something like that we've seen Copenhagen Flames on that particular battleground. And they do, in all fairness to them, look particularly strong on that. They are on a current 4-win streak as well. They've taken down the last 4 teams that they've played, just taking a quick peek at their HLTV page. Meanwhile, AGO haven't quite had the same, funfare you know, looking at win percentages on this best of 3 as well, just if we look at it purely from the last 3 months, according to HLTV, we've got 77% of a win rate on Ancient for AGO, which, to be honest, is quite strong in 13 games on a very new map that hasn't quite developed a meta yet. If you can be one of the early adopters, it's great. But at the same time, Copenhagen Flames are still sporting a 60% win rate on that. So I think, you know, all things considered, Ancient might be a pretty fair test for both these two teams. I mean, AGO have been up and have been down and are currently, at least in this competition, on a bit of a down. So maybe this is an opportunity for them against a team that, you know, have decent win rates on the maps that they veto to maybe prove to themselves that they can punch through that next echelon of play.
But without further ado, we are ready to head into things, George.
Let's do it.
I think we've got ourselves a game in our hands, and we are ready to jump on in.
Let's have at it, Daniel. Here we go then. It is time to get into the action. Copenhagen Flames, AGO. How are we feeling about it? Well, Pinnacle are feeling like it's very, very even. You can see the odds on your screen. 1.8 to 1.9, nothing to separate these two teams in the early parts of this. Going into it, I already highlighted how close they are in terms of ranking, in terms of these vetoes and these map win rates. So now it just comes down to who's going to be better on the day, who's got the skill in the server. And so far, so good for AGO as they open up this pistol round with 4 players still alive to just the 2 remaining of Copenhagen Flames. Has been snatched back slightly by Zyphon, a second even for him as he now tries to wiggle his way back into this site. Still looking difficult for the time being, but Snatchy is going to be just around the corner. Unfortunately, Rallen is ready to finish off Hooksy. Nearly gets spun on. Hooksy actually does get Snatchy in the meanwhile. Now it's all down to the 1 versus 1. Rallen and Syvon, unfortunately, just ducking back into the site, dropping the smoke now to try and disguise his entry. He's got the kit, so can stick this defuse, and it makes it all the much harder for Rallen to try and get in with this. Unfortunately, there's just not really going to be the time to finish it off, and Copenhagen Flames, despite a valiant 2 versus 4 effort, will not be able to convert the pistol round.
Valiant, as you say. They gave it their best, George. Not quite enough, though, and obviously AGO get off the marks early here on Ancient. We'll see if they can carry this one forward. We've spoken before about how we both feel that Ancient is a fairly CT-sided map, so obviously if you're this AGO side, you want to get off to the races early, string a few rounds together at the start of this half, and just make sure you deal with this force buy and the ecos that come through, and get yourself a bit of cash in the back pocket as well.
I think that's ultimately the end game goal, isn't it? Cash in the back of the pocket.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants, isn't it?
Oh, that's what I'm looking to secure. The bag, you know? That's how we all chase in the bag till the end of days.
Nice opening from Reitz there. Just going a little bit aggressive. Does catch that man trying to push through Dig. He's looking for more though as well. Nico Doss is there and has fired off a round, so they know he's lurking about. You can see how AGO are just letting Copenhagen Flames walk into their crosshairs, or just hoping that they walk into their crosshairs, rather than just watching this angle. Just knows he's probably dead if he peeks around the corner. Does now have some assistance from Furlan as they're going to try and clear it together. There you go. There goes Furlan. He's dead. Fiku trades out nicely, though. Takes them both down and gives the AGO side a little bit more space to work with. But another factor in at this tail as Yabi. He gets one with a deagle. He was not expected there, but it is closed down by AGO. 3 players survived. That's decent. Especially against a force buy.
It's even more than decent. You know, that's going to do some damage, and you can see the odds still looking pretty static as to where they were. I mean, if you do want to place any bets on this game, you can head to pinnacle.com/odds for the latest in-play betting experience from Pinnacle. Of course, please gamble responsibly. We don't want anybody going too far overboard. And it looks like in this round, Copenhagen Flames are going to gamble responsibly as well, Dan. They're doing the right thing with their finances. They're taking that eco. They're not going to try and press the issue for another crazy kind of buy. They're all good with this for the time being, and I think they're going to resign themselves to the fact they're going to be rather easily cleaned up. I think they'll be happy about the fact that 4 of those 5 frags go to the AKs, though, which means that the money is not going to be too out of control here for AGO.
Yeah, I mean, if you have an SMG and it just rakes in the kills, you're in a sticky spot where you've just handed over like $3,000 to the opposing side. That isn't the case this time, and Well, now we have the guns out. Now we're straight into things. A relatively quick affair in those small buys from the Copenhagen Flames side, and already aggression through mid. That's not something you often see from the T side, but they're looking to capitalize on it here with AGO just trying to chase down Hooksy towards the donut, and the Molotov will finish him off. Yabi not dead in time to save his teammate's life. So man advantage for the Poles, and they're looking to try and convert off the back of that, but Copenhagen Flames have gone aggressive themselves to try and recover some lost ground outside B here.
We have indeed. And to be honest, I don't hate this strategy. I have said before that on Ancient, it seems that over towards the B site, especially on the CT side, that patient play, but aggressive play, is often rewarded. And I feel like that is going to be the case again here. As you can see, we've already got one player pushed up pretty aggressively, and that might stop this B push in its tracks. I mean, looking at it from the time being, Xiphon needs to go big or go home here. Now going to hold Mouse 1 and unfortunately can't even get Fiku at the first blood draw. Now Roy just going to be peering round the corner. Might be looking for the opportune moment to strike, but even he's been cut off. Furlan keeping his sights perfectly trained on that position. Now Nico does inside the site. Needs to do what he can to defend. He's been so good for this Copenhagen Flames roster over the last few months, but can't avail this time. It's Snatchy to snatch him out of the round, leaving Yabi 1 versus 4. AWP, I think that might be a save call if it's me. And even though it's not, Yabi's still very much for it.
Let's get 1 on the save, Yabi. Obviously, his position now known. You can see AGO flocking like vultures to try and gun him down. Yabi stay alive for much longer. Let's get a second, but not expecting Reets over by the temple as well. And that's AGO up to 4. 2 players surviving. You're more than happy with that, as it's the Copenhagen Flames who are going to be back onto the min buys. Maybe a few Deagles come out for the CTs, but other than that, you should have a relatively calm affair in this next round. Obviously, that feels a little bit silly when you talk about the Deagles. Definitely a very balanced weapon.
The Deagle, not balanced? Yeah. What are you talking about, Dan? It's perfectly balanced.
Yeah, it's a absolutely flawlessly balanced weapon.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Yeah, yin yang.
You know it.
All those good things. I like this angle from Nico, though. Up on the boost of a teammate's head, looking down towards lower B. Roy just clicking left mouse as quick as he could there. Does actually find the kill. Close range. He's even going to call for a little bit of support now as Xiphon is going to be joining him. That nade might finish Roy off. Somehow doesn't.
That Molly might. Yeah, that Molly is definitely going to force him out. That's one of those situations from AGO where they're being... This is something you don't see out of many teams who get this quite wrong at times, Dan. With this discipline against these kind of buys where you have to give the respect over to those Deagles earlier in the round. I think it's fair to say that Rallen didn't quite respect the fact that Roy could be where he was, got taken down. And of course, later in the round, his teammates are there to pick up the pieces, using the appropriate amount of utility to make sure you clear these angles. But that diligence is going to go all kinds of sideways. Hooksy grabbing 2 out of this affair, bringing it now into a 3-on-2. This might offset the firepower disadvantage that Copenhagen Flames find themselves in. If you do go peeking into this AWP, though, that's going to offset your man advantage. And I'm pretty sure the Copenhagen Flames aren't feeling too strongly about that. Yabi whip Snatchy's head clean off his shoulders, executed, beheaded, feeling like one of Henry VIII's wives. And right now, Reets needs to go 1 versus 3, and he's not able to. The weapons have already been recovered by the Flames, and they extinguish AGO's hopes on this A site.
So yeah, relatively simple round for AGO against the Deagles there, as we can all see. It never is it, George?
No, never simple.
Just when you think you can speak, you get punished.
Never want to get that punished.
No.
Here we go then, a little Pinnacle replay. Are we going to get to see this shot from Hooksy again? Because this was a really important 2K. Can't understate it enough. That 2K pretty much changed the state of the round. Obviously, if Snatchy doesn't get his head completely wanged off, then maybe there's a chance that something can go right there. But I'm afraid that's just not to be. I mean, the Copenhagen Flames guys are, despite it being 12 noon here in the UK and therefore 1 o'clock in Copenhagen, sitting in darkness, some of them.
Yeah.
Don't know how you feel about that. I like a bit of light, Dan. I mean, in my formative years, I used to like gaming in the dark, but I like having light in my room now. It was got a bit too depressing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a choice about whether there's light in my room right now because I've got a giant studio light.
Yeah, I'm in the same situation. I'm not too sure whether I should just like turn it off in between being on camera or not, and then open my curtains and let some real light in. Maybe that's not a bad idea. I never know what to do when the green screen's up, because lighting is also important. A bit like this AWP shot that Nico's just missed. That was a very important one to hit, and now he has an opportunity to finish it off with the HE grenade. It's just Furlan. He's a bit slippery sometimes, old Furlan here, and he's even managed to get Nico out of that one as well. So I'm going to say that's one of the worst trade deals in the history of trade deals. And Copenhagen Flames might want to read the art of the deal now, because they're just going to get picked apart. Rallen this time now taking down Roy. Roy has been a bit too, how do I say, predictable over towards this position. He's been caught out a few times there now, despite getting a kill with the Deagle earlier on that we highlighted. It's just starting to get a bit readable. I know it's a key position to play on Ancient, but even still, there's more ways to play it than just occupying the space.
One thing that always confuses me about this dig site, the excavation, whatever people call it, is on the right of Xiphon, you've got the chain link fence. Actually, I'll talk about this second, because look at this flank from Xiphon! Oh, we could have had 3 there. You'll settle for 2, and I'm sure that's good enough by his books to try and level the playing field a little bit here. Still, his team in a man disadvantage. Yabby trying to shoot through the smoke with as best precision as he can, but obviously you can't see where the enemies are. That does hinder.
That is a slight disadvantage, isn't it? Smoke OP?
Yeah, it needs to nerf the smokes. Give yourself a hole in the middle that you can shoot through, like when you blow open a door.
Yeah, because that's how smokes work, right? Yeah. Like in real life.
Oof. Yeah. Either way, maybe Yabby was hoping the smoke would stay there a little longer, because then he might not have had his head ripped off by Rallen, who's on for 3 in the round. Maybe 4 if you can catch Hooksy, who's trying to save, and he certainly will.
Snatching it away.
The Quadra Monster.
Quadra Monster.
Yeah.
That's not.
Is that going to be a new thing?
I've not heard that before. I'm not sure it will catch on either.
No, I don't think so either. Let's leave that one in the books. But that shot from Furlan, that's just sad.
And those are the advantages that a player like Furlan can get you on maps like this. When you're in a situation where the economy is looking like it could potentially be fragile for the opposing team, and you're already being hampered down a little bit early, those are the frags in which Furlan really excels. Those little sneaky ones. He is a bit of a difference maker at times. Lots of people do like to peddle this narrative that AGO is just like snatchy esports, but all of these players play a role, and I gotta say, I'm impressed with Furlan lately. Fiku, in fact, as well, has both been standout and starting to really develop as players into people who can stand at the same level as the aforementioned Snatchy. I mean, I'm still interested, of course, in Copenhagen Flames as to see how they develop in their own right, because these guys, and typically Copenhagen Flames organization, generally does develop quite a lot of good young talent. I mean, we can just think of the names like Refresh, for example, who I consider to be one of the prodigal Danish talents at the moment, who was absolutely lights out on this roster. And, well, I'm already going to put my hat in the ring and say that Niku is probably next on this one, but unfortunately for Copenhagen Flames, this round is not next for them. It looks like it's going to be a loss for them as they immediately get broken out inside the A site. 3 versus 5 retake required. That's a good start from Niku, but there's going to be 2 more players just around the corner that he needs to be cautious of. He has got Roy coming in for some support, and that's 2 frags back in. Unfortunately, Xiphon just goes a little too far ahead, leaving now just Roy, 1 versus 2. He needs to get the first or the second of either of these 2 players in a pretty sharpish manner because, well, despite having the kit, he's just going to get naded anyway. Easy finesse from Rowland as he just chucks the nade and runs away.
Tell you one thing, Roy looks like the ultimate dad Chad.
Dad
Just when you
Chad.
see his picture, yeah, like a Chad daddy.
Like he's gonna walk about a National Trust property with a backpack.
Nah, like he cares for his children, kind of Chad.
Right? Is he the kind of guy who like would wear a real good, like tan or burgundy kind of hat, like a cap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost definitely.
Wears car keys everywhere he goes.
It's a certain possibility. I'm not going to rule that one out.
Are there any more like good dad stereotypes that we can play on?
I don't know.
Don't know, actually, nothing.
Surprised he doesn't walk around the map with a stroller.
Well, I suppose that would only be if he had a baby. I mean, maybe he's got some toddlers, and they're pretty self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient. All right, into the wild you go.
Yeah, into the world.
Nico is burning.
Yeah, off you pop, and it looks like Copenhagen Flames are also going to pop as well. Not pop off, just get popped. No. They're out of the rounds pretty much at this point. One quick frag back for Hooksy, but that's going to be all she wrote.
Oh. What good fight there for Fiku, and Zyphon actually is able to collect the kill on the Deagle. Hooksy still trying to find something, but every time he looks away, Reese decides to take the fight. And again, you know, head popped off. Hooksy can't find anything, it's just Zyphon with 7 HP, and, well, he's going to try and save the AK. I respect that decision. I'm sure we all can respect this decision to save. I mean, his team's going to have the full by the next round either way, but obviously the AK-47 is just going to be better than the M4, so you don't really want to just go eating yourselves at this AGO side, hoping you can make something stick when you can save yourself a nice bundle of cash and get a nice little weaponry upgrade as well while you're at it.
Big W's.
Big W's all round.
Well, I suppose it's actually a little W, saving the weapon, losing the round. Can that even be considered a W? Is that just a flat L?
I mean, AGO, they're on the big W's right now.
AGO are having big W's. That is safe to say.
They've got 7 of them, in fact.
7 of them, which makes up quite nicely with the 77% win rate they have on this map. So all around, it's 7s across the board. Yet, the Pinnacle odds still aren't reflecting that. Not giving AGO the respect that they really deserve so far in this game. Still on that 1.9 odd. I mean, by all means, if you did want to take advantage of that slightly peculiar AGO scoreline, and you think you know your stuff, then you can prove it on this bet. If you want to head over to pinnacle.com/odds, there's a variety of other markets available. But let's say you wanted to put a €10 bet down, Dan. Do you know what you could do?
I could create a Trustly account.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah, and then I could place that money on Pinnacle nicely and safely and securely.
But you know, if that was €10 and you're a first-time customer to Pinnacle, you can use a code. Do you know what that code is, Dan?
Yeah. It's a Cup 21.
It is indeed. You get a free €10. Yeah. Isn't that just dandy?
That sounds honestly too good to be true.
Well, I can assure you, it is true. And sometimes in this world, when it sounds too good to be true, and it is, are the real best gifts that you can be given. Pinnacle's basically Santa Claus, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was what you were going for.
Pop a Pinnacle with a big beard. Hoping that, you know, we can pop a Pinnacle, or pop a Pinnacle social media manager is watching right now. And knows
ho ho
ho ho ho, and then they can Photoshop, like if the Pinnacle social media manager is watching, they can Photoshop the Pinnacle logo into a Santa hat and like a comedy beard onto it as well, as they just give out great promotions all the time.
This is too big brain.
I should be hired as like a marketing strategist for like every company. I just really, my career as a caster is over when I've got ideas this big.
Yeah. It's honestly, George, you're onto something there. Although AGO, they're looking to be onto this B bomb site rather soon. They've laid down a few smokes. They are being blocked by the smokes at the ramp as well. But for now, Roy has had enough of this.
Well, Furlan doesn't care how much Roy has had enough of because he will fill in with lead either way. Zyphon, that's a nice 2k from him, able to bring it back and into a very nice Copenhagen advantage. 4-on-2, just Furlan and Snatchy to try and hold the line here. Looking to the bombing planet, so that gives him a bit of breathing room, but Furlan, those are the shots you really need to be hitting. Now it's all on Snatchy, and all he can do is tidy up the Furlan frag, as it is going to be a second finally coming through for the Copenhagen Flames, but you need to find a bit more sustenance. I mean, AGO giving away quite a bit there. Caught a little bit with their pants down in that round as they tried to push in towards the site.
Just a little bit. I mean, I don't particularly want to get caught with my pants down.
No.
I think we've got a technical pause here, though, so maybe someone has been caught with their pants down and they'd like to just pull them back up for a moment. But this frag here from Zyphon, being able to get that one inside the site, and then obviously you know from the position that he's just been in, that's the bomb planter. And from that, you can try and negotiate it as much as you possibly can. So I think, so far, this is looking like the beginning of something here for Copenhagen Flames. And I'm liking the sound of it. There he is. There's Dad Man. You enjoying that?
I don't know if he's a dad or not. I'm just saying he looks like one. So just don't take that out of context, please.
How does
just
one...
to be sure.
I suppose, but how does one look like a dad? I guess. You know, okay,
That's not something you can quantify.
One thing I've always wondered, and this is something that's just always kind of got me, is so Counter-Strike players obviously are going to use their computer for more than just Counter-Strike. Yeah?
Yeah.
Why do they only have one monitor?
That is a good question.
I haven't seen a Counter-Strike player with more than one monitor unless they stream also.
Maybe it's just the way.
Hang on, is it a requirement from tournament organisers? Possibly.
It could be, I guess.
Because you don't know what's on that second monitor. That could be a point.
Well, I think they're meant to have cameras now pointing at the monitors.
Oh, okay.
For some of the events, so.
Interesting.
Yeah, hopefully this unknown tech issue will
become known.
We'll get. Yeah. Well, I mean, just ends. I think we're ready to get back into things.
Okay, I think it was Furlan needed to reset his game. Is the information that I'm getting about that one.
Yeah.
Some kind of issue. Some kind of issue. Not sure what it is, but some kind of issue.
It was indeed an unknown tech issue, but it's now no longer an issue.
Still unknown.
Yeah. But Yabi with an opening kill. You can see the ground that Copenhagen Flames are trying to gain with this P lower push, and it's just absolute decimation. Zyphon gets down 2, Roy with 1 as well. It's all up to Reitz. Can he step up to the plate, or is he just gonna fall like his once alive teammates? Probably gonna end up like his teammates, honestly.
You think? No 1 versus 4 on the card here?
I've made some bold predictions.
Oi!
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how's that... okay, never mind. It's getting a bit too far ahead of myself there. How's that prediction going? Nope. Zyphon, don't want to let me know. I tell you what, though. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Now, I spoke at the start of the game about how B aggression is quite important on this map, especially on the CT side. And we saw it then. The B aggression works out, you get the territory, you suffocate that T side, you don't give them the comfortable space to work in. And then as a result of that, you can see they have to come through, they have to try and brute force their way into you. Here we go again, another technical pause, not sure what the nature of this one is. I do like a good jazzy tune. If you were to try and, create a dance to this maybe, what would your dance be?
It would involve... some twirls, I think.
I feel like this is a very boppy kind of... It would
be a duo dance as well, just to clarify.
Yeah, okay.
It'd be like a waltz, but urban.
I don't know if you can do a waltz to this. Is this in 3/4?
No, that's why it'd be urban. It'd be an urban waltz.
Yeah, but the whole point of a waltz is like the time signature... This is getting very musical now. The time signature needs to be 3/4. Because it's like 1, 2, 3. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Hooksy counts them down and finds 3 frags for himself. This round went very, very sideways for AGO very quickly. Admittedly, I didn't really have the funds to buy into it. So it looks like they too, Dan, are going to waltz out of this round.
Yeah. Well, do they have a time signature of 3-4?
Well, not anymore. They've got no time signature anymore. It's just flatline.
Yeah. Hopefully they can do more in this next round though, as they will have the guns out. I believe we do have a tactical pause coming through though, and you've got a little bit of time here if you want to check out pinnacle.com/odds and get that aforementioned Cup 21 bonus you mentioned, George.
It would be pretty swell, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe you could even check out Trustly while you're there.
Yeah, I know I would be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you interested in fast payments that are safe? With no cards, no download or registration. Are you interested in that, Dan? Is that the kind of thing that really interests you?
Yeah. Always have been.
Always has been. So it's all Trustly?
Yeah.
Always has been.
It's all just Trustly?
God,
all
honestly,
payments have been.
We just making perfect tweets for Trustly and Pinnacle social media managers, aren't we?
I mean, I'm not really sure what you can do with that one. I feel like always has been is a bit of a dead meme now. I think we're just living like a couple months in the past.
Well, we are boomers compared to the old Zoomers these days. I mean, I find it alarming now when I see like a Counter-Strike commentator who's like 16 doing ESEA matches, and that kind of really rattles me. Just in the same way that Zyphoners rattles the entirety of AGO. This is interesting now, Dan. I feel like we should probably start talking about this game a little bit more because Copenhagen Flames have... Well, they've turned up the wick a little bit, and their flame is burning a little bit brighter now. They've won 3 on the trot, and they're soon to make it 4, providing that Snatchy and Rowland haven't got any heroics tucked up their sleeve. But I think with how Zyphon's been performing in this round, and with where these 2 remaining Ts are about to encroach from, he might be on for a bit of a beefy round here. Maybe an ace.
That's the 4th.
Oh, don't look away. No! Hooksy, you robber!
A grave robber, in some regards.
I'm not sure about that one. But
well, I mean, that's an excavation site over there.
If it's archaeology, is it really grave robbing?
Depends if you pocket a few items.
I think the difference is, right...
See a nice like ring, you know? That'll be lovely for the missus.
Yeah, off a corpse, nice. The difference between grave robbing and archaeology is a degree, and that's all it is. Yeah. It's just a university degree.
Yeah. Just write about it, and then it's archaeology, isn't it?
Put it in a museum, and get paid for putting it in a museum.
There you go. There's some life advice for everybody.
What precious artifacts? If you could excavate CSGO, what do you reckon would be a precious artifact?
A howl, probably.
Yeah, I suppose that is quite a precious artifact.
Yeah.
Maybe there is one buried somewhere on the Danger Zone map, and like no one's found it yet.
If someone kills me and takes my M4A4 howl, how do I get it back?
How do you get it back?
I don't know.
It would be a problem, wouldn't it? Sure. Speaking of problems, though, AGO are going to start trying to throw a few of those towards Copenhagen Flames this round. It's a change of pace, Dan. It's something we haven't really seen out of them too much yet. Most of their rounds have been pretty slow and methodical. This one has been breakneck and alarming. Straight through the smoke goes Yabby, gets immediately taken down. That's an AWP in the hands of Furlan now. And this makes it a 4 versus 3. Now a 3 versus 3, thanks to Nico Doz. But he still might be falling victim any second to Furlan. Thankfully, there's more assistance coming on through. It's just Roland, last man remaining. He misses the shot on the first and gets taken down soon thereafter. It is going to be a 6th for Copenhagen Flames. A 5th in a row. And this game went from looking like it was AGO Riot, really, to now just running away into the hands of Copenhagen. They might bring this half back to 8-7 yet still.
Yeah, it's been 5 in a row now for the Copenhagen Flames sides. They've really been able to sort of get themselves back into the groove of things, which is good. It's obviously nice to see that. I don't like seeing blowout maps. Obviously, I want every map to be sort of, close, exciting, entertaining. sometimes that isn't possible, but it looks like we might be on for one here, despite that sort of early advantage AJ were able to muster up, and Nico Dos has already found the opening kill. He's just loving mid right now, maybe loving it a little bit too much because it's a bit of a love-hate relationship as Snatchy fights back. Does trade the kill out, and could have had another one there as well. But now they know that Hooksy's aggressive over at A main.
Could have, would have, should have.
Should have.
But didn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's a song, isn't it? I don't know, probably it is. Feels like it should be. If it's not, then we'll make it.
Yeah.
When we have...
Just our side business, you know.
Well, yeah.
We'll create a Spotify together.
I know somebody who might be able to help. So, you know what? We could be in with the music business here as well.
Okay. Well, that was very vague, but I like it.
somebody I used to commentate with made a very sudden career change into now being a music producer.
Wow.
And I think that's very sudden, if you'll agree.
Well, depends. Was it like next day?
Almost, yeah, actually. Almost like next day. Almost like Amazon Prime.
Yeah, almost. Like this heading towards the B side.
Almost like Copenhagen Flames turning this game around in one round. And now they're going to be like near 7-7. 4v4 retake, now down to a 4v3 immediately. Daddy Roy coming in with a first frag to crack open the site, and then even a second in from Yabby. This is looking shaky here from AGO in the recent run of rounds.
Well, they're trying to fight back. Reeds and Snatchy. A couple kills found. The time is ticking down. Reeds could win this one out, but no, Xiphon is very quick on the trigger and does deny any sort of hope that Reeds may have had of denying that defuse. So, all tied up 7-7. One more round to play for, and that bomb plant helps the AGO side out pretty massively, actually. $800 per player. It facilitates the full buy. We'll see if they can make this one work, though, and come away with a half lead, because if Copenhagen Flames find 8 here, that is actually very, very nice. I mean, maybe not in terms of just what you'd expect to see from a CT side, but in terms of being able to fight back and swing the momentum so heavily, it's certainly a great result. We'll see if they can achieve that. We'll see for AGO, they just want to nip this one in the bud before it gets too out of line. See some aggression down mid. Hooksy wanting to have a little bit of a look, not spotting anything, will fall away, and AGO looking firmly towards this B side. It's a relatively sharp assault towards B. There has been the utility in return to at least quell a little bit of the threat and slow this advance down, but Roy, he's just going to try and flash through the smoke. He's trying to get to his teammates, in fact, and he will, in fact, do so. 5-on-5. This bomb gets planted, but a bit of spraying through the smoke. Is he alright there? Looks like he is. Though he does start to burn, Nico gets the opening kill.
Starting to get increasingly worried for AGO here. If this retake continues to blossom in the same way that it has been so far for Copenhagen Flames, AGO might find themselves in pretty hot water if this round goes away and the second half starts pretty poorly for them. They've done a great job so far, though, at burning time off the clock, and that's going to call all the Copenhagen Flames side into action. They're not getting the bomb! They're not finding the defuser! Oh, he got it! He got it before he gets taken down. What an absolute disaster for AGO. They burned so much time off the clock, and yet still they weren't able to come up with the goods. It is unfortunate, and yet the odds still, well, I suppose they're dead even now because the game's dead even, but what a half of Counter-Strike we've just seen. Copenhagen Flames, 1-6 down, I want to point out, Dan. 1-6 down. 1-7 down.
Yeah, I mean, they were also 1-6 down, but yeah, 1-7 down is the more impressive stat line.
That is, I gotta say, that's pretty bad. AGO just completely crumbled in the mid part of that half and never were able to recover it. Now, I don't know if that's AGO crumbling or whether it's actually Copenhagen Flames making the strategic adjustment, but we'll see how quickly they can come swinging out the gates here on the T side, and so far, so good.
Yeah, that's a great opening from Hooksy. Roy trying to do what he can as well, but there is a couple trades coming through from the Polish side, so not all doom and gloom right now for the Danes. That nade gonna do a pretty decent chunk of damage, and Hooksy just launches himself out from cover. He's just the bait for Roy to get the trade, so they want to try and lower the standing here for AJ, but the bomb is actually planted on the far side of the pillar. Not that it matters, the Copenhagen Flames. They have the positioning to deal with that one. And it is 9 on the board. They're going to extend this lead out now as well. They've been behind this entire game, George, and they have just surged forward.
8 rounds in a row. I'm going to say that's a pretty good surge, if you ask me. And then it leaves this CT side now of AGO with a difficult decision to make. Do they now elect to go for a bye here and force their way in and potentially hamper themselves for the next round and a half? Or do they choose to eco and go for the full buy next? And it seems they've gone with the former of those two options, Dan. And that's probably, if they don't get it here, going to put them in a very, very compromised position. They're actually playing 3 players towards this A site, and they're about to have a very rude awakening when they discover that Copenhagen Flames is showing absolutely no interest in it. It seems that they're already starting to accrue their resources towards the B site, of which there is only Fiku to defend, if I'm not mistaken. And even he is not in a particularly advanced position. He should get no real forewarning of this until the utility comes in. And there it goes. Misses the first shot, misses the all-important first shot, and now is just sanctioned off by the cover of smoke. You can see with the X-ray turned off, he can't see a damn thing. He has no idea what's going on inside of this site. He needs to play with his ears like a bat, and unfortunately, they're not going to be helping him out too much this time. They fail him completely as Copenhagen Flames get into the site. They get the bomb planted, and they now find themselves in a pretty decent position to defend this too. The retake needs to come thick and fast from AGO, or they need to decide whether they're just going to save it and just pack this one up and fight another day.
Looks like they're still wanting to go for it, George. I mean, the timer is so far down. Yeah, you just have to save. Like, I was surprised they were still sticking around. It looked like they maybe just wanted to get some kills, try and inflict any economic damage they can, because obviously if you can maybe even just trade out a Deagle kill for an AK, that's still obviously a net positive for the AGO side, but they'll go into this next round with all 5 players surviving, so they basically have the same round over again. It's like deja vu.
I have been in this place before. Yeah. Higher on the tree. Honestly, when is our music career starting?
You're making a good case for it, George. I'll say that. You're making a good case for it.
There's someone listening who's definitely going to sign me to a record deal. I can tell.
Yeah.
Just off that, 2 seconds of a meme song.
Yeah. I mean, I've told you before, I always listen to music before a cast.
This morning, I was listening to my eyelids and my sleep.
Yeah.
I didn't have any Counter-Strike related dreams to kind of complement that.
No. Weren't thinking about flawless executing towards an A site.
Sometimes that does enter my dreams, and they are the best ones that I have. But not this time, I'm afraid. What is going to be pretty dreamy, though, is Zyphon taking the first frag of this round out and already. That opens up the B side because Fiku previously was the only defender over here. And once again, it is actually going to be a rinse and repeat. The exact same hit that Copenhagen Flames threw at AGO in the previous round is seemingly going to be thrown at them again here, just a little more slowly. You can see that Nico is just going to be eking his way into the site here. Just being very slow and patient about this. They're trying to give up no information this time. They're making them think this could be a fake. As they start to show presence through middle, it's all going to come doubling back any second, Dan, and it might still all come tumbling down for AGO as they now start to stray into the Copenhagen Flames crosshairs. Outswings Yabi. The site's now theirs. They've managed to pull away Furlan and Rallen from the B site. And now I think Furlan and Rallen both realizing that their goose is cooked. They might have to escape here in some way, shape or form. And they're going to try and evade the gaze of the Copenhagen Flames players. They do so successfully for the first frag, but I think that might be all that they're going to be able to find here unless the Flames go hunting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a Scout Deagle, not really that impactful in the next round, but you can save those couple flashbangs, you can save the armor. You know, well, it's a nice little bit of cash not to spend, I guess. I think personally, I'd be pushing more for any damage you can find on these Copenhagen Flames. If you get a couple kills, that'd be dandy. But AGO choosing to play with a bit of a safer option, which, I mean, yeah, it's fine. Not what I'd chosen, but as I've always said, I'm not the one in the server. And look at those odds, George.
Finally, they've opened up a little bit here.
Yeah, 1.4 to 2.7 now. Favouring the Copenhagen Flames for this series. And I think that's a fair assessment of where we're at right now. Obviously, we'll see how this first gun round goes for the Danes, but just based on the streak they've been on, it's now 10 in a row for them. That is an insurmountable number of rounds, and they're just going fast in towards this B site. Is VQ going to get overrun? Yes, he is. Roy is going to burn him to a crisp. Nice and tasty. A little bit of salt and pepper chicken, maybe.
That is a conversation for after this round, your favourite crisp flavour. But I don't think we're done with... Oh my god, okay, maybe we are done with this one, because I thought that was a lock-in for Reitz to find that frag there, but still not able to find it on Nico Doz. And now, as a result, Snatchy's going to be out the round, and with the AWP and the finances that he's got, surely he can't justify going for anything here, right? This is going to have to be a back-away situation. Rallen, sure, gets one. Okay, all right. No, maybe we are finding something out of this. Oh, even damage onto Niku. Good shots from Snatchy, but still, I don't think enough to turn this round around.
No.
It's just going to be over. It's going to be 12 now. That's 11 in a row for Copenhagen Flames. And yeah, going back to it. Burnt to a crisp, but what is the best crisp? Or if you're American, what's the best chip?
Definitely not American. I think the best crisp would probably have to be... Can't go wrong with a cheese and onion, to be honest.
Oh, I'm talking like brands as well. Like, what are your good brands?
Walker's cheese and onion.
Walker's cheese and onion is your favourite crisp.
It's probably the one I have the most.
Right. Now, I'm going to raise you a very strong counter here.
Okay, are you going to go for McCoy's Ridged or something?
Oh, no. They are good, though. No, I'm going to go
for... no, are you a Sensations guy?
No, actually. No, I'm not a Thai Sweet Chili Sensations. Chips. Kettle chips are good, but I'm not that rich. Okay. It's going to be sour cream and onion Pringles.
Oh, are they really a crisp?
Yes, they are a crisp.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't categorise them as crisp.
What would you categorise Pringles as?
A savoury treat, a snack.
Aren't crisps just a snack?
Yeah, but I mean... Right, I know what you're saying. I know they are crisps, but if someone said to me, "I've got some crisps,"
you think like a packet of crisps.
Cans, yeah, gave me a Pringle can. I think, hang on.
Hang on, wait a minute. Someone ain't right. Something definitely isn't right. Snatchy's been taken down, by the way, alone, no trade. I feel like that's got to be a mistake, right?
Well, looking at it from this perspective, yes, that is a mistake. Obviously, AGO must have had some idea of what to do, and it hasn't really worked out for them here. And Roy is just going to be watching over this as well. EQ. Ooh, probably should have been dead there, but you'll think twice before going around that corner again.
Rallen might not. Rallen might not think twice about it. He's got an AK, so he'll fancy his chances just that little bit more. That Molotov is going to dislodge Fiku, though. Nice and easy. Now, Rallen gets called into question. Unfortunately, the trades are there for Copenhagen Flames. And that's one thing that really has to be stated for the Copenhagen Flames compared to AGO, especially on this T side compared to AGO's T side, is that their trades have just been so much better. Copenhagen Flames are always making sure they're in a position where they can take away any advantages that get ascertained by AGO in the middle of a site or when they're trying to take middle, for example. There's always a buddy system. You have to 2K them. They're forcing you to go above and beyond. And currently, AGO just aren't up to that.
This is now 12 rounds in a row. Are we going to see 15 in a row here to close out the game, George? Can AGO finally muster up a round in this next one?
You'd really hope so, wouldn't you?
There's so many questions that need answers, and I'm not sure how many we're going to get answers to.
I mean,
it's an eternal darkness that just shows no light.
Endless night.
Yeah.
On current form, though, I have to side with the inclination that I've got, which is that Copenhagen Flames are just not going to slow down here. They haven't really shown any signs of weakness yet. All of their rounds they've won so far have been pretty convincing, I've got to say.
Yeah, this second half especially.
Definitely, especially in the second half. I mean, there is going to be an adjustment in strategy here from AGO. As you can see, they've gone for a slightly different purchase as to what they've been going for previously. There are 2 AWPs in the mix now. Furlan and Snatchy are going to have 1 apiece. One likely going to be guiding its way over towards middle, the other out in towards A. Nade strike strategy this time. They've recognised that Roy's been getting a bit predictable over here on the entrance to the B site. And now this might be the first of many on the scorecard for the Copenhagen, for the AGO side. The Polish side have been struggling, but now they're snatching these rounds back. Couple of frags in here and there, 2 versus 4 to be converted for Hooksy and Nico Dars, but this hasn't been done before on the T side. They nearly did it in the pistol round of their CT half. But now with that frag, I think that pretty much secures it. Hooksy now 1 versus 4 down. Unprecedented, really, if he gets this one pulled off. And thankfully, AGO are back, baby. It's only 1 round, so let's not get too excited. But it's a good round. It's a convincing round. They keep 4 players alive. They keep both AWPs in circulation. And they even upgrade both of their M4s that remain to AK-47s. So I'd say, all in all, pretty good.
Yeah, that's sort of as good as you can get with a round. I mean, obviously, you'd prefer a 5th player alive, but you can't get everything you want in this world. And there's no issues with rebuying for FIQ. They've got the cash to do so with the 4 players surviving. So yeah, we'll see if they can build momentum off this. This is the first round they've had in a long while. It probably feels like a surreal experience for the Polish side. They're probably wondering what the hell's going on, like caveman discovering fire.
What is fire? Molotov cocktail.
Oh, Bernie, hottie.
Hot. What is hot? We've not had hot before.
Just a series of grunts as we just become a fire. Oh.
I do wonder, like, you ever wonder, like, what was the first person who discovered X like? So the one that always gets me is, like, the first person who milked a cow. Why? And then why did you decide to drink it?
I think the thing with the cow is it discharges whether it's milked or not, I think.
Yeah, but then why?
It gets full.
But why drink it?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Breastfeeding. Maybe the comparison to the human.
The human.
Fawn. Yeah, I guess.
Don't know. It just seems odd.
I don't know. It's a weird question, George. I
also,
what you're saying,
same with
but
toast.
I don't have the answers.
Same with toast, right? Who cooked bread and then thought, yeah, I'm going to cook it again? You know, who thought that?
Well,
maybe
you just wanted hard bread.
Made bread and thought, yeah, this could do with being cooked again, but in a slightly different way.
Well, I'm glad he did, George.
Toast is great.
Yeah.
And it goes with so much. Beans.
Does it go with this plant towards B, though?
Not sure just yet.
No, because Copenhagen Flames have just walked in.
Yeah.
Smokes, but they take a little bit too long, and as the smokes fade, they are very quickly caught out. I mean, it's still a 3-on-3, mind you, so not an advantage going AGO's way yet, but that's certainly a nice opening to work with in a round which was looking a little bit worse for wear for this Polish side, and Nico just playing with fire. Hooksy has his lines up correct this time around as he takes down Reeds. Berlin's now all that remains, and the bomb is planted wide open. But Yabi taking a very quick fight, and only 37 HP for Hooksy. He jumps through the smoke. No time for the defuse for Furlan. Really? With the kit?
You think there might have been time there?
I think there might have been time there.
Is it worth the risk of losing the AWP in a situation?
Is it worth the risk of losing a 14th round?
I mean, I think that is a very strong argument you've made there. Hard to argue with that one, really. You know what's not all that risky, by the way?
Spamming through that wall.
No, Trustly. Trustly's not risky. It's safe, secure, easy. No downloads required, which means you can't get anyone telling you, like I do almost every day at this point.
Download the app.
No. Someone calls my phone and they tell me that my national insurance number is going to be suspended because it's been fraudulent. And
that is not a good thing.
And that I'm going to be arrested.
You are going to be arrested. Reed's probably going to be arrested for those 2 kills in towards Dig. Not happy about that one. Are the Copenhagen Flames, as maybe AGO can find a 9th. Which doesn't seem too bad until you realise that Copenhagen Flames have won 13 out of the last 14 rounds. That is an unfair well, I was going to say unfair assessment. A very fair assessment. An enjoyable statistic maybe, but it is looking like a ninth is going to be coming through unless Uxie could do something magnificent, which, as we can see on your screens, he is not. He does absolutely nothing magnificent, in fact.
Ain't that a shame? And you know what, Dan? This might be getting close now. I'm not going to say it's there just yet, but it might be getting close to a point in which the Copenhagen Flames economy might start to run out here. As already, I think it is going to be Nikodos who is down on $2,000, which makes this buy all the more difficult for them. I think they're still going to be able to get a decent chunk of it out of it, but you can see that Nico is going to be down onto a Deagle. I mean, not to say that weapon isn't a bit broken at times, but... Boys, come on!
Oh, now one of them's dead.
They just...
Rallen's been taken down.
Honestly, if someone could just, like, clip that and then play the imposter Among Us music over it, it's perfect me.
Among Us.
Among Us. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect. Chef's kiss. Oh, good trades. Okay, that's more like it from AGO. That, in my view, is what's been lacking so much in this half. What a shot from Furlan. And Reitz finishes the job. This is more like it now, AGO. You've woken up a little bit. You've done a Copenhagen Flames impression, but on the second half this time, where they were down significant run of rounds early on. And now you're starting to just grab it back slightly. Those odds, you might, if you feel the need for an AGO comeback, you should probably head to pinnacle.com/odds before they change. Because you could be making yourself a quick bit of bank here.
Yeah, put £1 on, €1 on, you get free.
Wow.
That's just free money.
It is.
Obviously not free money.
Well, it's risky money at times.
You know, it is free money. Using Cup 21 when you bet €10. You get €10 as in addition to that, so...
It is free.
Yeah.
Very free.
Oh, it's the only bet where you can afford to lose and be responsible, just like Furlan is. Responsible adult knows his angles with the AWP.
Oh, did he just drop the bomb, or was that already dropped? I thought
It was already dropped.
Okay.
They're trying to recover it.
This is not going to plan, is it?
No.
Especially not with this big old backstab coming on in. 1 and 2 just around the corner. And that would be the...
For you.
Okay, Abby. Alright.
Wait, how has Roy got on here?
I don't know, but he has only got a Glock, so don't expect much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably a bit done out of that one. Still good.
Yeah, one kill.
Maybe if you had a Deagle, there was opportunity for a big 3k there.
Mm. Yeah, just 1, 2, 3. It's just easy.
The stuff of dreams.
ABC.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. A little bit disjointed, this hit towards the A site, honestly. I mean, just sort of running through a smoke one by one. Oh, I think George just knocked over everything.
Thankfully, I muted for the stream for that. But we're all good.
Lovely.
I'm good at that.
Yeah. Just was it a super quick reflex onto the mic button?
No, I just anticipated that things were going to start falling over.
Uh-huh.
You know how they say that I'm a prophet and I can see the future.
Oh yeah, I've heard. I've heard somebody say that.
Might just be me peddling my own narrative, but you know.
I mean, nobody else is going to do it for you, so...
Obviously, right? Might as well.
Oh, Copenhagen Flames will be hoping they can lead their own narrative to a 15th here before AGO start getting a feeling of what this game could have been. As Zypher just walks in towards a side, Yabby just guns them down in the corner. They were cowering. And maybe they should have taken a fight a little bit sooner, because now it's just Snatchy all alone, a 1 versus 5. His entire team just decimated. And that is a flashbang, Snatchy.
Yikes.
He's even getting flanked as well. There's just no reprieve for Snatchy. The only way out of this is with some nice shots. Unfortunately, it's Zyphon who hits the next one. And it is 15 for the Flames, who are looking to try and take away the AGO map pick here, which could set us up for a very quick 2-0 potentially, with Vertigo, a very strong map for the Flames as well.
Yes, and unfortunately for AGO, it's not really a very strong map for them. Do you know how strong their win rate is on that map, Dan?
I think it's about 30%.
Yeah, and do you know how many maps they've played on that map?
I think it's about 10.
18, with a 39% win rate. That's doesn't feel too good if you're AGO. I feel this is a must-win map for them, and if it isn't going to be won by them, they need to buck their ideas up. Thankfully, the two AWPs, not necessarily using the AWP, and even in Rowland's case, with the Deagle, have managed to get some work done. 3 frags already found for the Copenhagen Flames side. They're going to be out of this one. 2 versus 5. What do you do in this situation? Well, I suppose you're going to try and make something work. You will need a plan. You will need a plan, because money is definitely not the easiest thing to come by here, but the slower you move, the bigger the chance that you're about to get flanked on out by Rowland. And in he comes, just checking the wrong way for the time being, but then swings on back, finds the shot, and just like that, should be in with a 12th for AGO. And potentially a chance to continue to push this one just a little bit further. Destiny's overtime is what they're waiting for.
Yeah. Not Destiny's Child.
No.
We're waiting a while for Destiny's Child.
The destiny of overtime. It is their destiny. You can choose your own destiny, Daniel. Will you choose your own destiny? I got a bit like Gandalf.
I feel like everybody chooses their own destiny just by sort of what they do.
Oh, I don't know. This is a strange philosophical debate, you know.
Getting out of bed in the morning. If you didn't get out of bed for like 5 days, you might starve.
Interestingly, have you been watching Loki? That new TV series on TV.
I have not, I'm afraid.
I was gonna make a reference to them, but I think it's wasted on you.
Yeah, it will be.
Maybe not wasted on the Twitch chat. Maybe. If you don't get out of bed, the TVA are coming for you, and you've messed with the sacred timeline. And that's probably what AGO are feeling like here. They didn't win their map pick, and they thought this was going to be a lock-in for them with that big old 77% win rate. And I'm afraid the sacred timeline is not necessarily going according to plan here. For Copenhagen Flames they're having quite a fair amount of fun, especially with that first shot already. This is the lack of aggression towards this B site from AGO. Now finally going to be reactive aggression, and this is a little bit better. This is more like what you want to see. Reitz, loss of weight on his shoulders here, and he's just going to back away rather wisely. He's going to give the responsibility over to Rowland instead, who may soon fall victim if he doesn't spot Nico does. I think he has spotted him, but Nico has just switched his way out of there for the time being, just being patient. I don't even know how close they are to each other, but now Rowland thinks that he's escaped. Rowland thinks he's gone. Oh, this is like cat and mouse over here towards this B opening, and they finally get the better of one another. It's going to be an even trade. It's Roy! Oh, Roy! You snatched 2 away.
Chad.
That's huge. Now it's just 2 AWPs to retake. They have to go aggressive. They have to press through the smoke. Furlan knows that time is of the essence. He needs to get a quick snipe before they get away to post-plant angles, and that opportunity, that window, it's fleeting, it's closing, and very soon it's going to be gone forever. There's just one player on top of the site. It's Hooksy. As soon as this smoke dissipates, he is going to be in a whole lot of hot water, but he deals with it well and boils AGO out of the map for a 16-12 scoreline. They steal away the Polish map pick.
Impressive from them. We'll be back after a short break with Vertigo to see if Copenhagen Flames can close this one down in 2. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to AGO against Copenhagen Flames. My name's Buffers. I'm joined by Dan Chan, and Copenhagen Flames have stolen away map number 1 from AGO. That was AGO's map pick on Ancient, and now we go into Copenhagen Flames here on Vertigo, and they're looking to sweep this series away 2-0 to make themselves 2-2 in this Pinnacle Cup Swiss system stage. It is off to the races, into the B site they go, and already trades are aplenty, Dan, as Roy gets in with 2.
You were literally just mentioning in the break how well Roy has been playing lately, and that's a great sort of example of it, just running in towards the site. Yeah, he's trading out his teammates, but he's getting those kills nicely. However, Copenhagen Flames have let this one slip a little bit. A few kills going back the AGO's way, and now they're forced to fall off the site, Copenhagen Flames. And Xiphon, he can't get it done. That's a lovely retake from AGO in the deficit there to get this second map off to the races, off to a better start. Well, I'm going to say better start than they did on an Ancient. That's not true. They had a great start on Ancient. It was the ending that let them down.
It's not about how you start, Dan. It's about how you finish, because that's where the game is won. And unfortunately for AGO, they finished... I've got to say, I can't sugarcoat this at all, really. They finished horribly. Like, it was not fun. AGO lost, I think, 12 rounds in a row. It was 1-7, and then Copenhagen Flames just came back to a 13-7 scoreline. That's just... You can't let that happen again.
No.
And I mean, if we take a quick moment here to discuss the map win percentages over AGO and Copenhagen Flames on Vertigo, Copenhagen Flames currently have a really good map win rate on this map, 71%. But they've played less maps than AGO, and AGO have got a 39% win rate. If you're looking at the stats alone, the safe money is on Copenhagen Flames at pinnacle.com/odds, but maybe there's an outside bet for AGO.
Maybe there is. And already Roy has found an opening kill with that AK-47. Copenhagen Flames fully invested into this round with that bomb plant. They've gotten themselves a few rifles, a couple deagles. Let's see what they can do. This boost from Snatchy could end it all, but actually, Copenhagen Flames, they back away. 55 seconds on the clock. They've lost all interest in the A site. 3 players are over there still for the AGO side. It's going to be up to Fiku alone towards B to stave off this advance, and surely he can't find more than 2 at most from this position. Alone towards B, no rotations even on the way yet. It's going to be Roy, the first one in. And Hoopsie still looking over towards the A site, has been taken down. Fiku is just nailed, is fully blinded, can't find anything from his position. And I think that's the round secured for Copenhagen Flames, just instantly fighting back with a very strong force buy.
You've really got to say as well, AGO need to do better. They need to do better in this kind of round. As soon as they were on that boost with Snatchy over at the A site, and they saw that the utility was coming in but no players were following, I think that's a pretty decent inclination that there's going to be a rotation in, don't you think? And despite that, it still doesn't work out. Copenhagen Flames with a really good round to get themselves back on the board, and it brings them in early. Something they weren't able to do, like you mentioned previously, Dan, on Ancient. They took a little bit of time to get started, but now they're hot, now they're ready and raring to go. And with all things considered, in and amongst of that, Copenhagen Flames are looking to try and burn this map to the ground nice and quickly. Like I said, this looks to be a Copenhagen Flames favoured result. And I think the odds are about to reflect that. Holy moly, they are. It's nearly just 1-to-1 odds for Copenhagen Flames. AGO at 4.72. Pinnacle really not feeling too friendly towards the polls. But I suppose with how the way the last map panned out, and with all the win percentages and the ways that the previous maps that these guys have played on this particular battleground have transpired, AGO, I think it's hard to make a case for them here.
Yeah, it's certainly going to have to be a turnaround in just a general approach from the AGO side here, and just being able to hit a lot of sort of nutty shots is really what AGO have to work with, rather than... That's a nice aggressive push out through the ramp to try and fight back, but it's going to still cost them as they line up for Roy. He's an absolute machine. He's a dangerous weapon. He needs to be locked up. He's just found 2 there, and that's surely closed out the round now, as it's up to Furlan and Fiku, a 2v4. I mean, Furlan is close towards the A site here. Fiku's rotated over now as well, but you can see again, Copenhagen Flames, they just back away. Look at where Yabi is. He's already in towards the B site. He's cleared out all the way in towards the other site, and yeah, Copenhagen Flames, they'll send the bomb over there. They'll get the bomb planted. They don't even want to challenge a 4v2 in the site.
They want nothing to do with it. Copenhagen Flames, once again, running over the round.
Yeah. Roy again with great kills coming through.
He's beautiful, isn't he? Great work at the moment. I mean, we were looking at the Copenhagen Flames like ratings and such before the game. I was surprised. From the eye test, you always would say that Nico Doz is probably the strongest player on this roster, just in raw ability.
Yeah.
He's not even the highest rated player over the last 3 months. No, it is Roy. 1.2 rating. I think that's very, very strong.
Yeah.
And I've got to say that for Copenhagen Flames to have a player like that who is so strong, so consistent of an asset, puts you in a really good stead for how this is going to transpire for you moving forward. And there it is again, the 2 kills Roy finds at the beginning, and then the 1 he finds at the end. Beautiful work from Roy. And I think that puts him at 7-1 currently.
You get a little choked up there, just...
I did, just a little bit. Yeah. So beautiful. My boy's finally becoming a man. No, but he's just incredible lately. And it can't be understated. AGO are going to need to find a response. They're going to need to find a way to shut Roy down. But then I suppose the question needs to be asked, if Roy gets shut down, who is going to step up to the plate for the Copenhagen Flames? I mean, they have plenty of players with more than enough talent to do so. So AGO have got a bit of a problem on their hands. They've got a lot to try and work with. And most of it this time is going to be collated all the way over towards the B site. And it seems to be safe passage of entry for Copenhagen Flames into A.
Yeah, completely empty. There'll be absolutely no defense here. Copenhagen Flames obviously still dropping the utility. They don't know that. They want to make this as easy as possible. They want to clear out all their angles. Just make sure that they get this bomb planted safely, because once you get the bomb planted on the T side, the sort of passage of play quickly shifts more in favor of the T side, because you've now got that timer working for you. And I feel like I can't remember where from, but I know in general it's sort of considered when an attacking side is trying to attack somewhere, they should generally bring 3 times what the defenders have. But I don't know if that's just an old sort of...
Is that like a Sun Tzu myth. Art of War thing?
Yeah, I think so. And obviously attacking is harder than defending in just the sense of just pound for pound.
You think? You think attacking's harder? I think it depends on the map. And I think Vertigo is arguably slightly easier to attack on, if I'm being honest with you. Because, I mean, you have so much opportunity to, get early round picks on the T side, which is something that you don't really get too much opportunity with on other maps. And also, there's a lot of opportunity to set up executes. I mean, look, you can throw a smoke from spawn that sets things up for you nicely. It's like Mirage in many ways. I think
I agree, but what I'm more meant was just like in the situation there, where you then, as a Copenhagen Flames side, switch into defending the bomb. It's
right?
Much
yeah,
easier.
yeah.
You don't have to make the plays. You can sort of
in a post plant. No, I definitely agree.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's definitely a lot to be said for it.
Oh, there's a lot to be said for this AGO buy as well. We'll see if what we're going to be saying about it is a second round. Whether it's going to fall away. Roy might get caught here, and he certainly is. Second death of the game. Won't matter too much, though, because Xiphon is quick on the trade. But look at the aggression. Verlan is down through the ladder. He could catch off the player. No! He turns at just the wrong moment, and Yabi gets the time in. A bit of grace of fortune going Yabi's way, but Xiphon doesn't need any fortune to take down Rarlan. He just needs a trusty AK and a mouse as he takes down the AGO player. Snatchy and Fiku, the last 2 alive. And again, is it going to be Copenhagen Flames just backing away from this A site? They've certainly spotted out Fiku doing damage. Can't quite find the kill yet, though. Nico Doss is sort of locked in there. And as he tries to escape, Fiku goes aggressive, catches him out. So 2-on-2. But as we said, Copenhagen Flames have already sort of relocated themselves over towards that B site, and the bomb is planted in the vacated bomb site. So we'll have 2-on-2 post-plant for the Copenhagen Flames here, George.
Strong position for the post plant. And now this retake coming on in. Fiku and Snatchy doing what they can. Now the tables have turned. Like we said, Dan, you get into this situation in post plants where you become the defender. And Yabi swings out, takes the Raya HP of the 2 players down first. Swings out them for the second. It's easy Kapka and Fiku soon to follow. Copenhagen Flames, Dan, we were talking that this could be a problem. If you let Copenhagen Flames off the leash, they're just going to bolt. They're like the horse from the stable. They are gone, and those odds reflect it. Nearly 7-1 now for AGO to be the victors of this map. I've had better odds betting on the Euros. This is just not a fun time to be alive if you're an AGO player or fan. I think for Copenhagen Flames, they've just got to keep doing what they're doing. Playing these man advantages, making sure their trades have been as good as they've been, especially on Ancient in that second half. They were trading like machines. It was working oh so perfectly for them, and it might yet still continue to do so, as now AGO start to stack up players towards this A site. But I think Copenhagen Flames are going to be somewhat wise to it. You can see that they've started to pull a few resources out of the A site, and so far that's been met with no aggression from AGO. They're playing patient, but they are also spamming through. And unfortunately, that also has the hidden side effect of giving over the fact that you are at this site. Nico Doll's not going to miss on the first point of asking, and now maybe even a second bite of the cherry, or he might eat the whole thing. Comes open towards the right-hand side. Unfortunately, Le Mans is going to be a little bit too quick to evade him, but Roy, not going to be a problem. Easy cleanups, 3 players down, Fiku and Ralin all that remain, as they now try and rotate in to do what they can. It's actually just going to be Ralin who's here, last man standing over towards the A site, and now Copenhagen Flames have safe passage in.
I mean, this is obviously just a Deagle round for the AGO side, but still, this is a little scary earlier on. I mean, 5-1. Not a massive scoreline in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, we saw AGO streak to an even bigger one early in Ancient, but just the way Copenhagen Flames have been playing, the momentum they're carrying forward, and the sort of manner in which they're winning these rounds doesn't leave much in sort of for the Poles to play with here. I'm going to need to... I think at this point you have to take a bit of a timeout as you're going into this next gun round and just try and figure out maybe a bit of aggressions in order. We've seen Ralin have a little bit of success towards the sort of deep towards A ramp around the smoke, has been able to find a kill or two. But, I mean, in the end, it's still not really been enough for AGO. So maybe B could be a bit of an idea to maybe take some early control. So then you get that intel and a more forward position. Because a lot of these rounds as well, Copenhagen Flames have been rotating over towards B late. So there could be possibilities from that. We'll see what they decide to do, though, as they don't even take a timeout here. No, they want to get straight back into things.
I feel like a timeout at this point probably is a good thing for AGO, you know. I mean, they didn't take too many of them on Ancient when things were going wrong either, so maybe it's just something that this team thinks they can do a lot of, doing quite well with. I think a timeout is important. We've seen numerous times throughout the course of Counter-Strike history that timeouts can be used to reset mentally, also to call a strategy which might be able to break the bank. Even still, when a team is playing as well as Copenhagen Flames are, no matter what strategy you call, I think it's still going to be a bloody round for you, irrespective of the fact you might win it.
Yeah, it's not that these rounds are genuinely close.
No,
like
it's
you can
really
see
not.
Copenhagen Flames, the amount of money they've been able to rack up in those 5 rounds, and
Good Lord.
Nico has already found an opening.
It's not getting any easier, is it, Dan? It's not getting any easier. It's just one big uphill struggle. A huge, steep, fat incline. And, oh my god. Trades again, Dan. What do you do against that?
There's not much you can do, apart from hope that Ralin and Furlan in towards the site can find something. A missed shot from Nico, though. Could just be the opening the AGO side need. That flashbang is good. Zyphon's better. So advantage back with the Danes, but a 3-on-2. This is the closest it's been for a short while. There was an opportunity for Furlan there, but can't connect. Still the man advantage. 20 seconds on the clock. The Copenhagen Flames are committed towards this A site, and now it's all up towards Furlan. And he's sort of contained in towards Ivy. And Molotov behind him. Hooksy in front of him. Finally deals with the player forwards, but still 2 more to find. And Yabi not going to allow him to get anything else out of this round. So 6 on the board. AGO still can't break this duct.
It's closer. It's closer. 1 versus 2 that time in the end when it comes down to it. It was initially a 1 versus 3, of course, but The big problem here for the AGO side is that despite them taking down a hefty number of players there, it doesn't do much to impact the economy of the Copenhagen Flames because they keep the AWP, and that's the real spicy meatball of this entire Copenhagen Flames side. They can't get past it. They can't get past it, and you can see it's a problem, and it's not getting any easier for them. And right away, into a technical timeout, I believe that is. I'm not sure what the reason for that is. Yeah, I'll take a look. See if there's anything that's come up. No reason for the technical timeout just yet. Cam isn't working, apparently, is what it is.
Delightful.
Because, now you want to hear the reason for the cam not working?
Yeah, I've just seen it.
Phone is overheating.
Yeah.
It's a warm day.
Mm-hmm.
At least here in the UK, it's a warm day where I'm at. Not too cloudy, not too rainy, which is unusual. But I didn't know it was warm and spicy in Denmark too.
Maybe he just has a phone that overheats.
Maybe, but I often find that my phone's black and I've got a very very thick black case on my phone as well because I don't want it to break. And if I'm in like a hot car and I'm waiting, like say for example I take my girlfriend to the doctor's and I'm sitting waiting in a hot car, my phone does overheat. Like it gets slow and it's like burning my hands to touch. I don't know if you've ever had that.
Yeah. I have with some previous phones, yeah. I mean, it's just Deagles, though, in this round for the AGO side. We'll see if there's going to be
pretty sure
enough
you could
for
touch
them
that.
to work with.
You could touch Deagles. They're not going to be too hot, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if we left them out in the sun.
Maybe
if you had a blaze.
Maybe if you switched them to like a full auto Deagle.
And
just like with extended mags of like 30 rounds, just unload an entire full auto Deagle 30 round mag.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd maybe it'd get a bit warm.
Well, the barrel maybe getting a little bit hot.
Yeah.
Well, at least then you might be able to do the thing where you can do that cool little blow of the steaming barrel. That's what you got to do.
It's getting a little awkward now.
It is indeed very awkward. But Roy's doing everything he can to try and maintain this situation. Hooksy for good measure as well, and they don't need to really worry about the bomb plant when you've got two players who can win the round for you single-handedly.
I mean, that was a good recovery from the Copenhagen Flames. This thing's got a bit scary, but you know, I can tell you what else isn't.
That's terrifying.
What isn't scary?
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Every Polish
those
fan.
odds are terrifying.
Every Polish fan is looking at that and going, "Okay, we might be a bit screwed here."
Potentially, yeah. I mean, obviously, this is 1 to 2 games. Both the teams with 2 losses. Loser is going to be knocked out with the Swiss stage for Pinnacle Cup II.
The
so
stakes
a
are
lot
high.
on the line, and it feels like Copenhagen Flames are stepping up to that task a little bit stronger than the AGO side are able to right now.
They definitely are. They really have come to play today in ways in which we haven't necessarily seen Copenhagen Flames doing so much over the course of this competition, right, Dan? They've kind of...
Yeah.
Well, I hate to say it, they've been a little bit worse for wear. It hasn't been quite the this level of play, and they are today on a different planet to AGO. They really do seem to have everything going their way, apart from, of course, that opening frag that Zyphon's just given up. But if this half and this game, this series is anything to go by so far, Copenhagen Flames aren't going to worry too much about playing from a man disadvantage. They've had plenty of situations in which they've turned worse situations around. And they're going to even be cognizant. They're looking for the potential of Rallen on this boost, and they found it right away. They're going to even try and spray through for the player on the bottom of the boost, but unfortunately that's not going to work out this time around, as LeMan is able to get Hooksy. Oh, LeMan able to decimate Nikodos as well. Roy, of course, who else is going to be there to trade it away? Just tapping away for some feet, some tootsies beneath the sandbags, but unfortunately they're not going to be there either. It is now going to be a 2 versus 3, the final player for AGO rotating on in, as Roy with the AWP needs to channel the spirit of Nikodos as they make their way on in. 2 versus 2 now. Bomb plant should be relatively easy. AWP shot missed at the first point of asking. Yabby might not be able to get away from this bomb plant position, but it gives the opportunity now, potentially, for Roy to snatch this one back. No, gets caught with his pants down. And 2 to 7, finally, for AGO, they get around back.
Finally, yeah. That was a long time coming, I feel. Finally, a second on the board again. Though it wasn't clean. It wasn't easy for the AGO side. We'll see if the Copenhagen Flames can snap back in the next round, because they'll have lots of cash to play with. They've been able to fill their pockets to the brim with gold. Booty aplenty. As you can see, straight back in with the guns. And, I mean, they even have enough for the next buy as well, so... yeah, AGO would need to find 4 before Copenhagen Flames would worry about the cash. This 2 players towards this B site from AGO. It's a nice little boost from Zyphon, just looking to try and find a frag. He's even going to go up, and Fiku just has no idea as he's trying to lay down utility. Luckily, Furlan towards the back of site is good for one of the trades. Can he get anything more? No, he can't. No. Nico just bangs him out through the steel beams. And you know what? Can't melt steel beams, jet fuel. But I'll tell you what can melt Furlan's face.
Oh my good lord.
Round. Yeah.
50 caliber bullets can deal with steel beams, but jet fuel can't, by the way.
No. We're back into a 3-on-3 though, AGO. Still clinging on to this B site right now. Yabi, how has he found that kill? 2 HP, and he takes down Rarlan. That's not reasonable. Snatchy knows it, and he's able to fight back for one more. Hooksy feels his wrath. That's a high HP player going down. Yabi needs to get the bomb planted this time. He will, but Snatchy is instantly there to rip his head clean off the shoulders. Now we'll up to Nico Dos. A 1 versus 2. Lamar just walks into the sight lines, and that's easy for Nico. Now just needs to try and figure out where Snatchy is. Surely he knows he's forward, as Snatchy's going to try creeping on through the smoke, and Nico just has no idea. A 3rd on the board for AGO, another close affair. But Snatchy with 3 kills really kept bringing AGO back into that one.
Copenhagen Flames nearly and very much did in the end make a rod for their own back there in the 3 versus 3. You're wondering, maybe, I don't know, I was certainly, about why it took them so long to go for the plant here. And you can see, nobody on this T side had any utility remaining in their utility belts. So Hooksy just had to go for some Hail Mary cross into the bomb site to be able to get the plant down. And in the end, obviously, he gets taken down. That makes the situation all the more difficult. Yabi gets taken down whilst trying to plant the bomb as well. And then, obviously, that's just the problem. If there's a smoke there, then that entire sequence of events likely doesn't happen. But even still, despite that, Copenhagen Flames still undeterred. Still going to try and go into this round as brutally as they've been into the last few. 7-3. And playing the patience game this time down. They've been pretty quick on their approaches so far in this half, but this time it's going to be a bit slower. Unfortunately, their patience is not to be rewarded. 2 frags now finally going to be traded with Hooksy, but they have taken out one of the key hitters. They've taken out Roy. Orf is still peering around corners, and now they've taken out another one of the big hitters in Nico Doz as well. So Hooksy and Yabi to try and clutch this one back up. Don't mind if I do, but I don't think it's going to be all that easy. They've got 2 players down very, very low on HP, as Hooksy has got towards the AWP as well. I don't think that the A site is going to be particularly interested for them, though. I think they might even have a chance to walk on out of this. They're still going to keep persisting, Dan. I don't know whether I feel this is the right decision, but with that first shot from Hooksy and then a second here from Yabi, we might be onto something. Unfortunately, there goes the bomb. And there potentially goes the chances of Copenhagen Flames in this round.
58 HP, 15 seconds on the clock. Yeah, this one's done. Yabi, if you can get the plant, that would be nice. Might bait Furlan into the fight. Oh, and he does. Now, where is Rarlan going to be hiding from? Yabi, no! Oh, he does it! With 15 seconds on the clock, AGO give it up. Beautifully baits out the bomb peak. And Copenhagen Flames, they just steal away an 8th.
No way. It's not real. I thought that round was done. I thought it was so over. The fake plant is all it takes. I mean, to be honest there in that situation, what is the harm in allowing the plant to come through? You need to secure rounds here for AGO. You can't take these kind of risks that Furlan has just taken. And then this one as well. You get baited out by not 1, but 2 fake plants in a 1 versus 2. That's some balls, I gotta say, from Yabby to do that twice and thinking it'll work. But, like, come on, fool me once. Shame on you, right?
You have to say, he did read the situation perfectly as well. Knew where both of those players were going to be. So you can't fault him for that one. But, you know what else you can't fault, George?
What?
Trustly.
Can't fault Trustly? They're a bit too good.
Yeah, they're too good for their own good. All those safe, secure payments.
Them safe, secure payments, Dan, they do really make me very excited. You know me, I'm a sucker for a strong financial market.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm also a sucker for a strong boost, and Le Mans might have a chance here. This is... I've got to say, Copenhagen Flames aren't really doing their due diligence here against these Deagles. They're not using the utility. They're allowing themselves to very quickly and very nearly get completely apart. They should really be respecting this potential for a Deagle to pick them off. And now they've thankfully managed to stabilize the situation, but I fear against any other team who maybe are, or even an in-form AGO, might have just capitalized on that one a little bit too much. That's got to be nearly a mistake there from Copenhagen Flames.
Hello.
Nice and easy.
What's going on in there?
It's more of the same.
What's the license for that weapon?
It's more of the same, though, Dan. It's more of the same. It's more of the Copenhagen Flames not doing their due diligence in getting into different locations. They're just thinking they can brute force everything. And, well, how? That's alarming.
That was painful to actually watch, that one.
Well, it's right as I'm saying. They think they can brute force their way into everything. They do.
Yeah, do you know why they think they can brute force, George?
Because they can.
Do.
Yeah, they can.
I mean, nice 2 kills there from Figu. Catches him a little unawares.
Just a little bit.
PC Plod coming in with his...
All right. What's going on here?
Yeah. Do you have a license for that weapon?
You got a license for that? It reminds me of every time it's like, all right, what's going on here? Have you ever seen that video about the slap where the guy just like slaps everybody in the barbecue yard?
Yeah.
And then the police come on and they go, all right, what's going on here? And they just get clarted.
Mm-hmm. It's a very good meme format.
Yeah, it is good.
That's Pinnacle slapping away the competition.
Yeah.
With their amazing odds.
Other betting sites are not available.
Great bonuses, yeah.
Good lord, I feel violently ill.
I feel violated.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go and throw up.
There's no way. It's not real, George.
We are living in a simulation. This
just can't be real.
This is
Copenhagen Flames.
This is Copenhagen's Flames world, and we're just living in it.
Yeah, this is the... I mean... What do you do, really, there, if you're AGO? You've got the drop on someone who's dropping off a platform, and they just tap you. There's
no counter to clicking heads.
No, clicking heads is the sort of all-seeing eye. In some regards.
It is the be-all and end-all.
Like, do you ever watch Now You See Me?
Yeah, it's the eye.
Clicking heads are the eye. Yeah,
that is something.
Yeah. Have Mark Ruffalo just in there somewhere.
Yeah, he's the Donny. The daddy of Counter-Strike. Really, we all know that's Roy, but... There's just no salvation either. There's no salvation for AGO. They just get wiped off the server in one fell swoop. It all goes so very wrong, as they don't even get to save the AWP. No salvation. Look at that. That's just gross. I don't even think that was intentional, really.
It gets worse the more you watch it.
Have it again. Come on, we'll watch it again. We don't care about this round. Oh my goodness me. I do appreciate the second slower motion replay. That is great. Thank you, producers. We love you.
Yeah. Always there when you need them.
Always. And I always need them.
That was a little awkward from Hooksy compared to last round.
Just a little
Trying
bit.
some long-range sprays, then gets blinded and then dead.
Hero
but Lamar,
Oh.
ooh, he gets a couple, and again, Copenhagen Flames are taking casualties against pistols. This has been a bit of a theme for these past few rounds. Now, obviously, getting towards the end of this first half, there's only one more round to play after this, so economy isn't really going to be an issue. I mean, Roy is a little bit low, but as long as they can close out this round, this should be fine. Which is not what AGO want to be hearing.
Far from it. Far from what they want to be hearing.
No.
I mean, if you ask me, I think AGO just want to be hearing the end of this. They've suffered enough in this first half. They just want to hear that second half reset. They're only one round away from it, of course, but they're going to be several rounds away from Copenhagen Flames, and this is starting to be a huge problem. I don't know what they can do. I mean, like, thinking about this in comparison to map number 1, AGO just look a bit flat today. They just don't have the response. They're not all on the same page, or should I say, singing from the same hymn sheet. And, they might need something a bit more biblical than just choir to save themselves in this one.
Yeah, it's been a bit sad, this one.
It's been a bit of a Pepe hands.
Definitely not a wide peepo happy. More of a, more of a wide peepo sad if that exists.
Sag. They're just sipping on their little carton. And it's not going well.
Yeah, tears refilling it.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's sustainable energy.
Great in theory.
Always great.
Impossible in practice.
No, I reckon you could do it. Try enough. Cry harder. Cry more, as I get told by everybody
Snatchy.
in matchmaking.
Snatchy just gives into a life of death.
He was just a bit caught out there. Didn't think that the Flames would spread that far to him. And now as a result of him getting caught out, the A side does get opened up somewhat here for the Copenhagen Flames. Good Lord Jesus, Nico does. That is, that's one way to do it, and that's an even better way to finish it. 3-12 half. I think that last round is just more than anything exemplary of what's been happening this half for the Copenhagen Flames. They've just been rolling through AGO, and I think that's a bit of an onboard view as to how they're feeling about it with 15-1 odds. 17-1 odds!
17-1.
Oh boy. If you believe in AGO, now's your chance to make a big buck, but I've got to say, I would not advise it.
No. That would not be betting responsibly. That would be betting with your heart.
Yeah, I'm afraid no matter how much Polska Gorom you give, it's not going to work.
No. Yeah, AGO definitely going to be feeling the strain here, as this is potentially the last few rounds of their Pinnacle Cup II experience. There's no refunds either.
No refunds.
No. As Copenhagen Flames now take the defense, George.
Oh, no,
Zyphon,
no.
but one of them misses.
That's so unfortunate. Now they don't know he's there. They don't think he's there. They've cleared that now. They think that the nades would have cleared it. Or they're actually doing their due diligence. Finally clearing angles properly. This is good, finally, from AGO. He's got one more chance now in this pistol round to just nail the final nail in the coffin. Hammer it shut. Uxie obviously has other ideas, but this is good. They're just going to back away. Make sure they hold their post-plant positions. Make sure that Copenhagen Flames now have to come to them. Not giving them any advantages, not giving them any freebies. This is it. I think AGO should walk away with this round. Sorry, the Copenhagen Flames are going to lose this round, and AGO should walk away with it, yeah.
Yeah, you're right the first time.
I was right. I doubted myself. I got confused by the different colours. Shapes and colours, the likes I've never seen.
Well, I mean, the problem is, George... Do you remember what happened in the first half? AGO won the pistol round.
Oh, yeah.
And then they immediately lost the follow-up.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was off the back of Copenhagen Flames getting a bomb plant, being able to bring in a few rifles and a couple deagles, so the buys were more evenly matched. But still, there could be potential here with the deagles from the Copenhagen Flames. You haven't really had to see them much, the deagles. Copenhagen Flames have pretty much been buying to their heart's content that entire first half. So we don't really know what they're capable of with them. But I'm sure Roy won't wait too long to show us.
He never does he?
No. An absolute Chad.
Absolute Chad. No real other way to talk about him.
Yeah. He's getting in this server, chatting it up.
Chatting it up.
Chatting it up, yeah. Despicable.
How very dare he?
How very dare Hooksy? Opening kill going at the Copenhagen Flames' way. Roy does take a lot of damage for his efforts, but been able to salvage a Galil off the back of it. Luckily, this hit towards the B site looks to be more promising, with Zyphon seeing his teammate get taken down. Trying to find some shots through the smoke, can't quite find the kill. No, 4-on-4 retake, and Rather wants to go aggressive. A bold call, but it seems to have worked out splendid for him as he gets the kill, backs away, and might find a second inside of the smoke as well, just about before Zyphon gets back behind the generator. And now it's all up towards just Nico and Hooksy. 6 versus 4. There was potential early round, but it's soon snatched away by the AGO side.
Just not quite the response that Copenhagen Flames were looking for this time around, I suppose.
No?
It was definitely better last time.
Yeah, I think that's goes without saying.
I think it definitely
does. Just salvages the Galil. That'll be a nice addition into the next round, so that's not bad to take away.
Well, speaking of takeaways, Dan.
Yeah.
What's your favourite? What's your favourite takeaway? Like genre of takeaway.
Favourite genre? House and dance.
No, not genre of music. Genre of takeaway.
I know. I've never heard anybody call it a genre of takeaway food. I do like.
I reckon
Chinese.
I was gonna predict you're a Chinese man, not like as in you're a man from China, as in like.
You know, I think I think I can guess your ethnicity here.
Yeah.
Despite being on camera with each other multiple times. No. Yeah, I do like a Chinese salt and pepper chicken banging.
Oh, it is. It is very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't have them much anymore. They do ruin my stomach, so they're more of a guilty pleasure. Yeah.
That is, I believe, as the kids say, no bueno.
No bueno. That's German, isn't it?
No. What? Are you serious?
No, no.
Okay, good. I had to make sure. My co-commentator wasn't losing his mind.
No.
Why don't you just commentate?
It's not really much to commentate in this round. It's AGO just cleaning up the low bar here. But I sort of expected you might be able to pick up on the joke I was putting down. Although Nico does get one on this retake. It's very quickly shut down by the holes. So 6 on the board, but now the Danes should have themselves a full buy, and this is where we get into the meat and potatoes of this second half, George.
I like meat and potatoes, Dan.
Yeah, what's your favourite takeaway?
Okay, difficult one for me. Gotta say, I'm a fan of a lot of different types of takeaway. It depends what mood I'm in. Like, for example, when the other day when England beat Ukraine, I had a Chinese.
Oh, okay.
I had some sweet.
I
had some chow mein, and it was good.
Yeah, a very British celebration meal. Yeah.
Obviously, right. Ironically, as a Brit, I'm not the biggest fan of fish and chips these days. I think I had it way too much as a kid. Like, and now I'm just. I'd much rather have like
maybe
anything else. But curry is always a good go-to for me. If I were to say, if someone were to have a party and be like, "Yo, what do you want for food?" I'd be like, "I know a good curry place. Let's have a tikka masala." That's my go-to. I'm not a korma kind of guy, but I don't like all that much spice. And it looks like Nico does though, because he's spicing up the round with an AWP pick to bring this one back into a 4-on-4. And that's the kind of thing that you just love to see.
Yeah, I mean, if the Copenhagen Flames are able to pick up this round, I think AGO are going to be in such a horrible position. It'll be 13-6. There's going to be so little to work with, honestly. I mean, AGO haven't Well, they've got a bit of cash for a few of these players, but it's not going to be perfect, so you really want to keep at least a couple of players alive in this. And Yabi, Zyphon, they're going to make sure they are going to struggle to do so with an incredible hold towards the B site. It now leaves just Rallen, who might actually be able to take down Nico here, who's made a lot of noise trying to push forward. But Nico, how is he aware of that? Even he's questioning the logic behind it.
I don't think there's much to question.
Well, that's the first nail in the coffin, I feel. So,
yeah, you think it's all over?
Yeah. I feel like you just need 3 more now. You've got 1 in each corner.
A couple more nails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to just make sure it's like super duper shot.
Yeah, you don't want to just stick with like 1 nail because then the other corner is going to be like able to lift up a bit. And then 2 nails. Yeah, I feel like you do need the 4 nails. And that's just the first of them as Uxie gets the kill. Limited buy for Ajo. As I said, they would be a little bit light on cash. They do leave enough for the full buy in the next, but that's a great little boost from Le Mans to get over the top of the boxes in mid and nail down Zyphon. Good kill found there, and they're just going to back away from that. They don't want anything to do with that mid presence anymore. They know that Copenhagen Flames are going to be trying to take back control, and that leaves elsewhere exposed on the map.
It absolutely does. Leaving little areas of the map exposed are the last thing that you would like to do. Flashbangs or smokes more to the point coming in. That's from the CT side, just to try and block a bit of vision here for the Copenhagen, for the AGO side, sorry, as now the Copenhagen Flames are asked to formulate a response. It's Roy and Nico, but Nico's not going to have the opportunity to try and help him out. Roy, unfortunately, dies alone, cold and alone. Now the Molotovs go raining in. That should force off a player. Unfortunately, the player gets forced off to the wrong side to what Nico Dos was intending. As Yabi now looks to try and make his way. And I feel like this should be an AGO round, all things considered.
Yeah.
They've managed to get themselves into the post plant. They've got great positions here. The AWP has to go into them. And I think that the AWP has now realized that it has to go into them. And it is running away. That is good recovery. Good rifle recovery for the AGO side, considering as they did fall victim to a little bit of a dangerous ploy from Copenhagen Flames in the previous round. So good to see that Le Mans and Rallen will survive the round with AKs at the very least, and they can bring up 7 onto the scoreboard.
AWP in the Copenhagen Flames' hands. They'll take a timeout. The trusty toilets there. Taking a dump on all the competition. Is that what they're for?
What, the competition?
No, the trusty Portaloos. To take a dump on the competition.
Well,
in a secure way.
In a secure way? How does one dump it securely?
A lock on a Portaloo?
Well, what if there was no download for the Portaloo as well?
It's not a DLC.
That would be ideal, don't you think?
Yeah. It would be ideal, honestly. I think that would just make me happy.
Tip of the iceberg, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Copenhagen Flames electing just to go for the AWP and a few upgraded pistols alongside it. Obviously, they can afford a full buy in the next if they do so, and it's only going to be an 8th on the board for AGO. They're happy to concede that and give themselves a much better chance in the following round, rather than trying to invest everything they can into this round and then it all falling flat, and then you end up with AGO getting close to 9 or 10. Although, already an opening kill from Yabi and a tag from the AWP of Nico Dos. Copenhagen Flames making it clear that this B site is not going to be easy to open up.
No. But the A site, on the other hand, might be a little bit easier to open up, as they've managed to find 3 very quick, very prompt frags. And that should elicit now a very speedy rotation from Le Mans to come and assist the rest of his team. Not if Nico Dos can get in front of it, though. They now have to they may now have to reconsider. They might now even go back towards B. They can't decide. They're ping-ponging back between the 2 sites. And now Zyphon needs to get back here. He needs to try and help out. He needs to try and find the opening frag. He's done so. Does that mean that Rallen now goes back the other way? Are we going to go once more around the mulberry bush? It seems not. It seems that he's decided, he's committed, he's going in towards this site. It's great positioning here from Xiphon. He's keeping himself concealed until the absolute last moment. Rallen needs to clear this. Rallen won't clear this, and it will be Copenhagen Flames snatching away another round, a 14th this time, which leaves them not just one round shy, but also starting to dig into that AGO economy that little bit more. Oh my god, the odds! We don't want AGO to win, do we? 30 nearly. 30 to 1.
That was the round that AGO should have been able to pick up. The Copenhagen Flames weren't aiming to even win that round. They just wanted to find damage. And they come out with a 14th. That is beautiful for them. They go into this next round with a great set of weapons. And AGO, they have to reside on a couple of Eagles, a MAC-10. There is a couple of AKs in the midst, but they're just hoping aggression can solve their problem. Snatchy, no! 2 players not looking at him. Right for the taking, and he misses the Deagle shots, and it's all going to come crashing down. Rallen does find one blinded up, trying to fight back. Can't get the second as Roy is swooping in there to save his teammate, a Guardian Angel, in the form of a dad bod. But now it's Furlan. 1 versus 4. Time dwindling for him. As it is for everybody. George, our existences are on a timer. And every second that ticks by is just another second we have less to use.
Life is pain, existence is a prison, and that has never been truer for AGO currently. They are just getting knocked about, really, by Copenhagen Flames here, and you can see the problem that they're about to face. The buy is about to be really, really just not good. I was gonna go for a different term, but not good is basically as good as it's gonna get. It's just not. It's not working. It's not good. No bueno. That's German, by the way. As Copenhagen Flames should be in position here to close this map out. They are against a buy, which is dwarfed in comparison to their gargantuan, expensive, hefty CT-sided buy. That AWP shot is strange. It looked like it hit to me, but I did blink at the same time and I missed it. Roy standing guard over towards the sandbags. Nico does about to go and re-aggress. Might find himself a very tasty lunch, but Rallen has decided that it's an opportunity that he's not going to pursue at this moment in time. Backing off and now re-aggressing. Any second, Nico is ready for it. Spots the backpack, and that somehow does damage. 17 HP down to for Rallen, and now might even call more people into question, as Roy is going to get Molotov'd out. Now getting smoked. They still aren't paying any attention to him. Turn around, AGO, because you've been murked by Roy. He has taken you all to school. He's looking for the ace. He's dropped the kids off, and it's all but done. 7-16. Copenhagen Flames 2-0. What a match. What a day. What a drama.
I don't know what to say with that last round, George.
It's crazy, wasn't it? They hear the smoke behind it, and they still don't decide to turn around.
We're even getting a replay as well. Just of the pain.
No. They are in Spain without the S, aren't they?
Yeah, we even get the odds there. 58%, 58 a chance of...
Somehow, I don't think AGO are going to win anymore. Something gives me that impression.
Yeah, it was a pretty clean 2-0 in the end for the Copenhagen Flames. I mean, things were a little bit closer on Ancient, in fairness, but yeah, I feel like Vertigo, there was never really any doubt from me or you that Copenhagen Flames will be able to take that one, and they go 2-2 in the Swiss stage. They're able to stay alive in this tournament. Well, AGO, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to them. 0-3 for them. Oh, sorry, 1-3 for them. Sorry, they did win out one match.
They won one match.
Yeah. Sorry, and yeah. So, but 3 losses and you're out. That's how the Swiss stage works. And yeah, unfortunately for them, no further part in this tournament. But I mean, up and down for AGO recently. I'm not convinced with the 6-man lineup how well that's going to keep working forward. So trying to stick with it. I mean, maybe it can keep working, but I think you should probably try and focus on a 5-man roster, at least in this sort of echelon of Counter-Strike. I think that you should really be just focusing on building up a core for your team and maybe adding extras later on. Maybe AGO just need to go back to basics here a little bit more.
It does feel like that.
Yeah, it just feels like the 2 up and down. They have some really good results. They have some poor results. maybe that's the solution. I don't know. Obviously, they'll have an idea themselves, and I'm sure they can tackle it. But for me and you, George, that is us closing out for our stint on the broadcast. There is going to be a bit of an extended break, I believe. Let me just double check. I believe it's about an hour, though.
Should be, I think,
before we head into the next match, which was going to be MIBR versus the Lingby Vikings. And that is, coming up in just about an hour. And that will be with Deity and X-Warrior, I believe, covering that one. So you're in good hands there. And I think there's nothing else for me and you to do, George, other than sign off for now. And hope you all return for MIBR versus Lingby Vikings. That's probably actually going to be a pretty interesting match, all things considered. I think that could be very interesting.
Be a banger. Be a banger. But from Beardy and Baldy, we're out. See you later. Have a good time.